Remember 16 reincarnations, the man shocked the world. Alan Lee was born in 1942 in Philadelphia, surprising researchers by remembering 16 reincarnations, some of which have been verified. According to the famous American reincarnation expert, Dr. Frederick Lenz, there is a real-life reincarnation case studied. It was Alan Lee, born into a wealthy family in Philadelphia, USA in 1942. As a child, he still had trouble with his dreams. Alan Lee often dreamed of returning to Egypt and living the life of a pharaoh. Having fulfilled this dream, he transformed into a slave in ancient Europe, or became a soldier on the battlefield in the American Civil War. One day in 1970, at the age of 27, Alan Lee entered the clinic of Dr. Irvin Mordes in Baltimore, Maryland, USA. Dr. Mordes is a famous local hypnotherapist and has also studied reincarnation. Under the hypnosis of Dr. Mordes, Alan Lee recalled his previous life. When he was the pharaoh Khalikrates, the pharaoh of ancient Egypt who ruled ancient Egypt since 344 to 341 BC. Dr. Mordes checked later and discovered that there really was such a pharaoh. Then Alan Lee continued to wander in another reincarnation, suddenly speaking a strange language, with a very arrogant attitude, and impenetrable eyes. Dr. Lenz specially kept Alan Lee's recording in Egyptian script, which he then sent to the University of Mali for research by scholars specializing in the Egyptian language. After testing, they confirmed they were indeed ancient Egyptian scripts and played back the recordings, and they also believed that these languages were indeed ancient Egyptian languages. After that, Alan Lee repeatedly recalled up to 16 of his past lives. And he could not only speak the language of that life, but could even write letters. In the process of researching Alan Lee, it was especially surprising that Alan Lee said he was once an alien. He said he once had a life on Neptune in the solar system, in the form of spiritual energy. Then he came to Earth to live in the flesh. At that time, the human race on Earth had not yet been created. He also said that he later died in a nuclear explosion. His alien name is Nolan. In a trance, he still spoke fluently in the strange language, and wrote a long passage of the word, Neptune, which looked like shorthand notation. Alan also mentioned a lot of knowledge that the experts had never heard of. They were all stunned. In his most recent incarnation, he claimed to be Rudolph Valentino. Valentino was one of the best-known actors of the silent film era. He died in 1926, not far away, so it's much easier for experts to verify. They invited some Hollywood senators to question Alan Lee. The senators asked a number of things that only Valentino and those present at the time knew. The shocking thing is that Alan Lee was able to give the correct answer to each question one by one. Even more amazing is the fingerprint comparison. According to the conventional wisdom of contemporary medicine, no two people's fingerprints are exactly the same, even twins are no exception. But Alan Lee's fingerprints are the same as Valentino's.